Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the genetics part of angelfish. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to use a marker to shade it in. And we're going to start off with basically your basic body type. And I'm not the greatest artist, so bear with me. You know, this is a veil tail right here. What makes it a veil tail is the fins. As you guys can see, it's not super long or anything like that. I can't draw, so bear with me. Veil tail. That's what I like. This might need to be a little bit longer to make it look a little bit better. That's a veil tail. This right here is a standard. Standards are more common, I would say, than veil tails, just because of they don't have much of fins. They'll have fins, you know, they're decent size, but they're just not near. In my opinion, these are a lot more elegant looking than these. They have the same body, just these fins are smaller than these. And then you got super veil. This might be a little bit more difficult to draw. I'm not even drawing in the line. So this is something very simple. We're going to start off with super simple. Little tiny fins. These primarily, you find them, they don't usually have big bodies. They have super big fins. They're usually smaller, and they usually just have I've seen them just ginormous fins. How do you get to that point where you get to pick which one you want? It's very simple. When you first pick your 6, you pick by color, you pick by size, and if you're doing genetics, you pick by what you want. So for example, if you want all your angelfish to be standard, you get standard angelfish. If you want them to be veil and possibly super veil, you get them veil. If you can't find veil and you want these two, how do you get there to here? I'll explain that. It's very simple. First, you find the color that you want, and I'll talk about colors here in a minute. You find the color you want. So, for example, if you want a gold or whatever you want, just pick your color. I think one of the biggest things with angelfish breeders is they focus more on the color of the fish than they do the body and the fins and things of that sort. Just like discus are very round. People don't realize that you want to get a good looking angelfish, and I know I can't draw an angelfish to save my life. But anyways, what you do is basically, hypothetical here, you buy a bunch of these and you want this. You want a veil tail, which I have in there, somewhere in there. You want a veil tail. What you do is you basically buy a bunch of these, you breed them together. You might get lucky and you might have veil gene in there. But if you don't have veil gene, you obviously then you keep, let's say 4 or 5, let's say you keep 6 of the fry that you like the most for color. Well, the next generation after that, I would recommend for any breeder, if they don't have any veil, to speed up the process, go find someone that's selling veils. If you want super veils, go find someone that's selling super veils. So for example, if you want to get to here, find someone, if you have these, find someone that's selling these. If you have veil, it's a lot easier to get super veil. A lot of people mistake my angelfish to super veil. And what you do is you get the angelfish with the biggest fins. You pick the next biggest fin. So for example, this is veil, so you might pick a couple that have a little bit extra, or have a little bit longer fins and a little bit out, right? It doesn't quite make it super veil, but it's getting closer. So for example, you pick these and you take whatever this one is and you make sure you keep it. You pick the one with the next biggest and you keep it. So then the next generation, you breed those two together, and you just basically make it so they become bigger and bigger. That's essentially like if like people always question, well, my mom's 4 foot and my dad's 4 foot, but I'm 6 foot. That means somewhere in your genetic line, there's someone that's really tall, and it might be a recessive. If you guys don't know anything about genes at all, I would recommend you guys go look at biology or study something, so that way you guys know what I'm talking about. Recessive means it's dormant. And it means recessive means it's the genes will stay in there. So for example, you can start from this number from here and go all the way to here. What it means is basically that you still have this gene. You'll still, if you have a bunch of these, like you get from this is mom and dad, or this is great grandma, and you get to this point, that doesn't mean you still won't throw out some of these. So it's called selective breeding, and selective breeding is you select which ones you like to get to the point of where you need to go. So that is just a quick video. I'm going to make some more, but this is just on bodies and fins. My personal opinion on what I like is veils. I like veils due to the fact that they're a lot more elegant looking. They're a lot more, I think they're a lot more nicer, but I'm not going to finish it off just yet. I was going to, and I just realized, since I'm talking about bodies and fins, you know, angelfish aren't super fat. They're not weird looking. I'm not like my picture, at least. So I'm going to talk about one more thing. We're going to talk about fins. I forgot to mention this. We have what's called a, they're starting to make them, and I'm not really a fan of these, but I'm going to try to draw this. Why isn't it working? There we go. And this is another gene. It's called wide fin. And as you can see, basically it's starting to look more like a discus. It's starting to get a little bit more roundish looking. It's also another gene people are doing. Another one I didn't mention is called the comb tail gene. This is one of my favorites. These angelfish usually are not necessarily veiled. Well, most of the time they're veiled. Sorry, I guess. Let me rephrase that. And it combs back like this. It looks really neat. It's not super like easy to, you know, like I had a female and I couldn't get any of the ones to do that. So that's comb tail. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's lace, and I'll explain lace here in a minute. It doesn't matter. It can be lace, can be in veil, super veil, standard, even comb tail. And what lace is basically, it looks like there's a bunch of little dots, or it looks like basically it's clear see-through on their fins. It could be on any of them. They're usually black, and it's a gene, so you know you have to have it to be able to make it. Looks really neat. Basically, looks like a bunch of little dots, like it's not supposed to be attached. So that's why it looks lace. Sorry about my awesome drawing skills, but that's about it. In my opinion, I like veil, comb tail to veil, just standard veil. I think they're the most elegant looking. You know, some people say they look like spiders. I'm not a super fan of their standard, because sometimes the standards honestly look like little nubs and they don't look very beautiful in my opinion. And then we have super veil. Super veil, the thing I don't like about it, genetically speaking, is they're a weaker gene, because you have to understand they're dragging those genes. They're dragging, like, it will never, if you ever see a super veil, it will never actually be like this. That thing will be like this, plopping down, sagging looking. Like, it will not be straight up. If it's in the water, it might be straight up, but for the most part, this stuff's dragging. It's literally like this, because it's so heavy, and the genes are so heavy, they're dragging down. I drew that picture a little bit too nice, but usually the super veils are usually dragging down. Comb tail, they're pretty neat looking. I'm not a fan. I feel like it's just another version of this, just a rounder version. Not comb tail, wide fin, sorry. And then this is comb tail. I like comb tail and veil. I like lace because it looks cool, but that's my opinion. All it is I've seen black lace, and I'm not sure if it's still lace when it's white, but white with a little blue on it where it looks like lacy looking. So, I know it's a long video. People asked about it. Go ahead and comment your questions. I want to hear what you guys have to say, other than I can't draw a picture to save my life. And let me know what you guys, what angelfish you guys want to hear about. Your options are zebra, marble, black, gold marble, dark marble. I'm trying to think of what else. I said zebra, silver. I'm trying to think of what else. Just go ahead and comment on the questions. That's pretty much it. And as far as, you know, to get these genes, you got to realize that they all came from a wild angelfish. So you can get all these in some combination or other. You know, it's very simple. Basically, if you want to go back from super veil to standard, you can. If you want to go from super veil to comb tail, you can. If you want to go from wide fin to super veil, you can. You can get a wide, I've not seen it yet, but it is possible to get a wide fin super veil. I have not seen it, but I know you can get a wide fin veil. It is possible. You know, it's nature. Anything's doable and anything's possible. So if you guys have any questions, comment below. And basically the way you breed it is, you know, like I said, you pick out what you want. So, you know, this is the start. So pick out your body. You know, obviously it's not going to look like this. And go from there. I have veil for the most part. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, I have veil and I've done standard. I've had comb tail. I had a female that was comb tail. And I've had super veil. And that was a bitch of a gene. So I've not had any with this, and I've not really bred just standard. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a super fan of it. So they don't really look like this. They look a little bit better, but you know, I'm not really a fan when they get really fat and they're older. So excuse me, you guys let me know what you guys want to know. So for you guys that are getting into the breeding part, this is step one. Pick out the body you want. So, you know, figure out what you want, and we'll go from there. So let me know what kind of other angelfish you guys want to hear about. We're going to start going into colors, and we'll talk about colors. So comment below. Peace.